Okay, well, we are going to get going. Hope everybody had a great night. It is September 29th, 2020, and we're going to go over this warm up. If you don't have it, that's fine, but let's go over it. This is some more review of some fifth grade stuff, but obviously math builds on itself, so we need to just go over it. We'll keep going over it, and hopefully we'll get you guys to a place where you feel comfortable with it. Okay, so number one, Bill jogged 2/3 of a mile on Monday and 3/4 mile on Tuesday. How far did Bill jog in total? So we're going to add fractions. Okay, so basically what we want to do is we're going to go 2/3 plus 3/4. Okay, so when you go and add fractions, what you have to do is you have to get the same denominator. So you have to get the same bottom number on the fraction. So we have to find what is a common multiple, also known as the least common multiple, for those numbers. So the best way to do it is just to multiply by the other number. Okay, so if we multiply this side by 4 and this side by 3, and the reason is so that we get that same denominator. And whatever you do to the bottom of the fraction, you have to do to the top. Okay? So that's going to equal 8. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. Plus 3 times 3 is 9. 4 times 3 is 12. So what we did is this 2/3 is equivalent to 8/12. And this 3/4 is equivalent to 9/12. And now that we have the same denominator, we can now add them together and we can figure out how many miles he ran. So when you're adding fractions, okay, you do not add the bottom, which is the denominator. What you do is you only add the numerator. And the reason is because if you have, say, a pizza that is 12 pieces, okay, when you add to, let's say you have 8 pieces left of one pizza and you have 9 pieces left of another pizza, that pizza doesn't just become a pizza that's cut into 24 pieces. It actually, each pizza still is only cut into 12 pieces. But you're just trying to find out how many total pieces you have. So 8 plus 9 is 17. So we have 17 out of 12. So that means we ran more than 1 mile, or we have more than one whole pizza. Okay? We actually have one whole pizza plus what's left over. So if we subtract, say, one whole pizza would be 12/12. What's left over? 5/12. Okay, so if it's pizza, it's one whole pizza and then 5/12 of a pizza. If it's miles, he ran 1 mile and then 5/12 of a mile. Okay, either one of these is right. You got an improper fraction and you have a mixed number. Okay, either one is right. And listen, if you don't quite understand it yet, that's fine. We will keep working and keep getting in there. Okay. Number 2, Jan made 8 sandwiches for a shindig and cut them into thirds. How many 1/3 sandwich pieces did she make? So she made 8 sandwiches and she cut them all into thirds. Okay, so we can just figure out how many she made. Okay, so the question is, did she, if each sandwich is 3 1/3 pieces, okay? Each sandwich is 1/3 piece. So you've got a sandwich. We'll just draw a picture. And then she cut this sandwich. You got 1, 2, 3, okay? But she made 8 of those, all right? How many, I want you to type this into the group chat, what you think. How many total 1/3 sized pieces did she have if she cut, she made 8 total sandwiches. So each sandwich she cuts into thirds. How many total pieces does she have? Go ahead and type that into the group chat, either privately or publicly. It's up to you. Okay, so let's figure it out. So here's one sandwich, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sandwiches, all cut into thirds. Okay, so we've got 8 sandwiches, and it's divided by 1/3. Okay, now I told you guys yesterday, when you're dividing fractions, which 8 is actually a fraction too, if you didn't know. 8 is 8 over 1, right? 8 divided by 1 is really what a whole number is. So any whole number, in this case 8, is actually 8 divided by 1, or 20 divided by 1, or 15 is 15 divided by 1, okay? So when we're dividing fractions, okay, what did I say yesterday? What do you do when you divide fractions with the second? Does anybody remember what you do with that second fraction? You would flip it and multiply. So you'd actually have 8 over 1 times 3 over 1, because we flipped it. See, we divided each whole sandwich into a third, right? We divided each sandwich into a third. So how many total pieces are there? Well, we'd flip and multiply, and we'd have 8 times 3, which is 24, over 1, which 24 divided by 1 equals 24. So there's 24 pieces. Some of you guys got very close. Good job. Okay, last one. Find the volume of a rectangular prism with these dimensions, okay? So to find the area of just like a square or a rectangle, you'd multiply the length times the width, okay? But when you have a prism, you'd go length times width times height, okay? Length times width times height, which would be 12 times 6 times 4. And your answer would be, cubed. So we've got 12 times 6, which is, anybody want to type that in? 6 times 10 is 60, 6 times 2 is 12, so 72 times 4. Okay? Then I'm going to give you guys time to do that math. $70 times 4. Well, 70 times 2 is 144. 70 times 4 is 288 feet cubed. The reason, because you cube it, you go feet times feet, right? Feet times feet times feet is feet cubed. Just like 2 times 2 times 2 would equal 2 cubed. Same concept. Okay? Okay. So I'll leave that there. Okay, so I'm gonna just open up the book real quick. And I want you guys all to get your book. I want you to type into the group chat when you have your book. And I want you to turn to page 7. So we're right here, page 7. Let me know when you have your book. I see a couple people have put in that they have it. Yvonne, Ivan, Colton. Good. Okay, so we're just going to go over a couple of these. Okay, we're going to do this first one, this explore activity. All right. It says the table shows the elevations of several locations in a state park. Graph the locations on the number line according to their elevations. Okay, so here's 0, and we start Little Butte A would be 5. So we go to 5, and that is A. Okay, B would be -5, so it's the opposite. We go the other way, -5 would be B. Dinosaur Valley would be C, and that's -9. So don't go in the positive because it's +9. -9 is back here, so that'd be C. Okay, and then the third one or fourth one, Mesa Ridge, D, 8. And Juniper Trail, E, is -3. So we go back 1, 2, 3. We label that E. Okay? So what point on the number line represents sea level? So sea level is when the elevation is 0. Okay? So it would be 0. And it says it right up here. The elevation of a lake describes its height above or below sea level, which has elevation 0. Okay? Which location is closest to sea level? How do you know? So which location is close to sea level? Is it 5 or -3? I'm on page 7. Yep, -3. Good. 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 Okay. All right. All right. So I'm going to move up to this right here. Okay. Go to page 10. All right. Page 10 in the book. And I'm going to do just help with these guided practice. Okay. So when we're talking about graph and label each of the following points on the number line. So letter A would be -2. So we go to 0, -1, -2, and you'd mark and put that as A. Okay, B is 9. So you'd go to +9 and put B. -8 is C. So I'm going to go back to -8, and I would put C right there. Okay? So you do those. graph the opposite of the number shown on each number line. So if I have 2 here, what's the opposite of positive 2? Good job, Sophia. Okay, and I definitely want you to give the essential question check-in. Okay, so given an integer, how do you find its opposite? So remember, I wanted you to do this online. Okay, so this is what we're going to do today. Okay, so it's Tuesday. I gave you those assignments on my HMH online. I want you to finish those. Okay, that's what you're doing today. I'll put up a different assignment tomorrow, but you had yesterday, now you have today to finish up all of this stuff. So this is the last thing you're going to do, this independent practice. It's on the HMH as an assignment, and you'll just go through this. You can do it in the book, but I'd prefer if you did it on the HMH. Okay, so that is the assignment for September 29th, 2020. So what you're going to do now is you're going to go on to your HMH and through your class link, and if you're not done, I want you to finish all of the section 1.1 stuff. Okay, so right now I'm going to go on and look and see who's on there. I do not want you to leave unless you've got it all done. If you have it all done, awesome job. And just know that tomorrow you have to check in to the Google Classroom. And on the Google Classroom, there will be a math question. And I just want to know on the Zoom group chat, let me know if you all know how to get onto Pear Deck and use Pear Deck. Because there may be a question on Pear Deck, okay? So that's something that you're gonna, good. Alexa, okay, we'll try to get you figured out. So again, we're going through 1.1. Yesterday we went through it, today we went through it. Tomorrow you'll have kind of an extension assignment on 1.1, but that's what we'll be doing. So make sure you go on and do that.